Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Jarvis Escott with What's Happening Birmingham. Today I have the honor and pleasure of being with Dr. Samantha Hill.
Hey guys.
Here again for part 2 of, we was talking about National Condom Week in the past video. So we did 2 parts. The first part was for the women. This part is for the fellas. So, and we had to split this up in 2, y'all, because we wanted to make sure it was informative and cover both sides. So, Dr. Hill, thank you again.
Thank you, Jarvis, for having me.
All right, so we're going to talk about the fellas. So we got a lot to talk about. As you see, what we have on the table is a display of condoms. Everything from Rough Rider. I didn't know they still had Rough Rider.
These have studs. Yeah, they got some studs on them or in things. We got flavored condoms.
Okay.
We got latex free, and so there are obviously latex condoms. There are latex free condoms. For those of you guys that have a latex allergy, FYI, we can actually test for that. And then, I mean, there are all different types of other materials that you can use, but you have to know what you're using because some of them are not as great as others as far as protecting you from STDs. When I talk about other types of materials outside of latex and the traditional latex free.
So before we even kind of get into this, what is the biggest misconception that men have about, and I guess when we just say put out, like you told me before the videos, a lot of men don't know what their actual size is.
Yeah, it's important to know the actual size that you are so that you can get the right size condom. Everybody's not a Magnum or everybody's not whatever. Some of y'all are more endowed than others. And so when you think about condom size, it's really important to, when you're erect, please don't do this when you're not erect. It's not useful. But when you're erect, you want to measure the length of your penis. You want to take a string and go around your penis, and then depending on how long that string is, use it to figure out what your girth is. And then when you have that girth number, you can actually multiply that by, this is for y'all that were in school, 3.14 pi, and that gives you your width. But anyway, the point is...
Oh.
But
should you do like a rule, like almost like when you go and getting tailored, you know,
You can. We're going to use this. You can. And so you can get your length of your penis when it's erect. And you can get the girth, which is how far around it is. But the numbers that are actually on your condom are going to be your length and your width. And so your width is actually the distance from one end to the other, not the distance around. And so that's why you got to do a little bit of that math right there.
Because they never put the size on the condoms.
You have to look at you actually have to look at the box when you get it, and it'll say on the box, this is not the box though, because these are the actual condoms, but the box will have like length and width on them. And so it's important that you know that if you're looking at whatever type of condom, any kind of Trojan, if you're going through Trojan, pick the right size for you. The danger of getting a condom that's too small is that you tear it and you break it, so then it's not helpful for prevention of STDs or pregnancy. Or if you get a condom that's too big, that joker falls off, and again, you're not getting protected.
Yeah, all types of things. And some, please, you know, because this is the podcast, you all, you know, we do frank conversation. If it falls off, do not put it back on.
Yes. Thank you, Jarvis. It's time to put on open a new condom, put a new condom back on.
Put it back on.
Yes, right? Put on a new condom. Put on a new condom.
New condom. New condom. All right, so what we're going to do, we keep telling y'all, this is the podcast. It's going to be frank. We're going to inform you, educate you. We're going to do a demonstration.
We're going to do, and actually Jarvis is going to do a demonstration about how to put a condom on, and we're going to see how many steps he gets correct. And to be fair to Jarvis, a lot of people actually don't really know the correct way to put on a condom. So I'm going to let you put on one.
All righty, so we're going to start with
choose your weapon of choice.
It's like going into a candy store. You just don't know which candy. You got M&M's, you got Skittles, you got Starburst.
You know.
Rough Rider.
And ideally, he's already picked the right size for his actual man part. But right now, we have a banana.
Banana, okay. Well, we're going to try this. Everybody want to try magnums. All right, so... Now, sometimes tearing it, can that...
Yes, so please don't tear it with your teeth because your teeth actually might cause a tear in the latex or whatever material condom you're using. So don't tear it with your teeth.
All right, so we take this. Okay,
so you got it on. Now show me how you would take it off.
Take it off.
Yeah.
Make sure. Let's see, that's not good either. Then. Watch I make sure.
All right.
There's no leakage.
All right. So great job. We're going to go through. I'm going to give you another one to do, and we're going to do it the right way.
Oh, man.
we missed some stuff.
Y'all don't be judging me out here. Come on.
Don't judge him because he got put on the spot. He didn't know.
Don't judge me.
I gave him about 5 minutes before we started the podcast to know he's going to do it. So the first step is the one that people don't do at all. And that's going to be check the expiration date, right? Okay. And so if we look on here, the condom that we have, the expiration date is 2021. You see it? September 1st.
And before we pause, most, like you said, they don't check the expiration date. Use your own condoms, correct? Don't just trust somebody just give you one because, some of us guys, like, we get from one, be like, oh, she might be trying to trap me.
Right. And so, my personal belief is if you can't even trust her to not be trying to trap you, you probably shouldn't have sex with her. But, yes, use your own condoms. That goes for ladies, too. You should be carrying your own condoms. So, you look at the expiration date. So, that's the first part. Now, let's open it. So, he opened it well. He didn't use his teeth. He didn't bite. Okay. Now, get it ready to put on. And he did do well the other time. I don't know if you're about... There you go. You want to make sure you're actually putting it on the right side. So there's a side that easily rolls.
Yeah, because sometimes, depends on if it's the darkness and you just... And then you're such in the mood, you like, let me just,
Because that increases the risk of it tearing. So he found the right size. Okay. Ideally, actually, you want to pinch a little bit off of the top. Okay. Because you want to make sure there's this room to catch all that awesome ejaculate that's going to be coming out. And then, and then roll down. And again, if you've measured correctly, your condom's going down to the base of your penis.
Okay, so what if how can you tell if it's not the right size? If it's not the right size, if it's kind of...
It'll be loose or it'll be too. So you can if you like your condom to be a little snug, that's fine. But if you're like, geez, I really cannot get this on, it's too small. The condom's too small. Likewise, if you roll it on and it's like moving, it's swaying in the wind, you feel like you could stick a finger up through on the side, that's way too loose. Okay. And so you can have a perfect fit condom and you can have a condom that's slightly giving you a little room as well as slightly a little snug. But if you really can't get it on or you can stick fingers through it, it's not the right size.
Well, obviously, first thing is, most people miss this part, the loose part, because they treat it like a fruit roll up,
roll it
down, and everything.
And it's important too because if you notice when Jarvis did the first one, he basically all that stuff that came out was actually coming out as he was rolling it up because he didn't leave this little reservoir up at the top. Now you should be able to take it off with this little reservoir right here. Okay. That way all the stuff that's up in there is not going off onto you or your partner. Okay. And some people will even twist it too.
Now also while you're doing this, make sure you're fully away from them. Yes. While it's going on. Yes. So let's dispel this. And put this down for a second. Sensitivity. You hear a lot of men say, well, it just don't feel right when I got a condom on. The sensitivity, or it affects the blood flow, or your blood flow arousal. Can you kind of speak on that for a moment?
So if it's affecting your blood flow, it's probably not the right size. As far as sensitivity and arousal, use stuff that you can play with. Get something that's flavored maybe. Make sure you're using water-based lubricants so that you're not causing rips and tears or you're decreasing the risk. But the reality is there's a condom for everybody. I get that some people feel it might affect their sensitivity. If you are willing to risk the possibility of acquiring an STD or getting someone pregnant, just so that your sensitivity is on point, then that's your personal preference. But if you don't know this person, I mean, I would, if I were you, I would be trying to figure out which type of condom that's on the market is the one that's going to get me closest to what I would expect if I was going bareback.
All right, so let's talk about this because, like I said, back again, we're not going to leave no issues on the table. My pullout game, what if I say my pullout game is immaculate, is 100% foolproof?
Everybody's pullout game is weak. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it like that.
Okay.
But and the reason I say it is because there's always pre-ejaculate, there's always something that you probably didn't even realize had already come out. And that right there can actually get someone pregnant. It can get someone infected with an STD. And so for the purposes of you trying to keep yourself safe, keep your partner safe, everybody's pullout game is weak. Simple.
Oh, well, that solves it. Like
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I know that hurts.
All right. We got some other stuff on the table too, like
Sure.
this lubricant. This is for the
This
ladies.
is well, no. This is silicone based lubricant, so you can definitely use this. But again, we really prefer water based, or recommend. I shouldn't say prefer, but recommend water based lubricant, just because there's less likely that whether it's a male or a female condom, that it's going to tear. But you can definitely do some silicone based lubricant if you like.
So you put that on the condom as like an extra protection. Okay, extra pro. Now we had this. Was this earlier for the ladies?
Yeah. Well, this could be, technically it can be for the ladies, but the reason this is on the table, it's a little compact case. It looks like a makeup case, but it's really to store your condoms in. And the reason, we're gonna pretend that that's gonna fit right now. The reason this is on there is because a lot of people feel like they should store their condoms in their wallet or in their purse. Those are the places you don't want to store your condoms, because those places are not temperature regulated, and so your condom may become less effective if you've been keeping it in your wallet since the end of time, or you're keeping it in your purse. You should keep it. It's hard to get these. These are actually something that's not sold in the stores, so you can keep it in like a bedside table. If you live in a climate where it doesn't get super hot, you could keep it in your glove compartment. But again, if you're in the Southeast, that's probably not going to be the reality for you.
Yeah, let's talk about that. People love to get it out their car. And it's like, in summertime, it's hot.
If it's summertime and they're getting their condom out the car, you might want to be like, well, you know what? I have my own condom. Let's use this. And so just keep your condoms in a temperature regulated room.
All right, so we start out with vaginal. Let's talk about oral sex. So, just going back. So if someone asks you, hey, I want to give you oral sex, but I want you to put a condom on. Mm-hmm. What's the dangers even with guys receiving the oral sex?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you can always receive, if you're receiving oral sex, there's always a risk of getting an STD. So people might not know it, but gonorrhea, you can have a throat infection with gonorrhea. You can have herpes. So there are definitely sexually transmitted infections that can be present in someone's mouth. And if they're giving you oral sex, they might be passing that infection along to you. And so definitely I recommend using a condom. You can use a dental dam. You can always cut your condom. And so there's actually a way to actually cut these. Again, these kind of videos are available on the internet to where this becomes a dental dam. And so just because you're getting oral sex doesn't mean that you can't use protection or that you shouldn't get tested.
Oh, man. But going back to another segue of it is, all right, say they're giving oral sex. You cannot tell if a person has a sexually transmitted disease by they ain't got no bumps in their mouth.
Right.
Or they ain't got no cold sores.
Right.
There's no...
Right. You can't tell. You can't tell. One, if you're thinking of cold sores, right, because we've all seen those, herpes, the person is more likely to transmit herpes right before that cold sore pops up. So, yeah, if you don't see anything on their mouth, that doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't in an infectious state if there's someone that has herpes. But two, like I said, you can have other infections that affect your mouth that you can pass along with oral sex.
I know we didn't speak about this in the last video, but say for the guys that may be, I'm not going to say channel their inner porn star, that they may pull out and want to shoot it in the face or on the skin. That's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah. I mean, from an STD standpoint, right? Because if that's your preference, that's your preference. From an STD standpoint, we know that STDs are more likely to enter our mucosal area, so it's like our mouth, our vaginal area, our penile area, our anus, or our butt area. One, and then more likely to enter when there are like breaks in the skin and when there's active infections in those areas. Mm-hmm. And so, it's not the most sanitary thing to do, but just be aware that there's always a possibility of some risk of infection doing that kind of stuff.
I know we missed this. We should have talked about this in the last video for the ladies, but go for both of the men. Going back to the anal sex, mm-hmm. The body wasn't meant for that. That was an outer, not an entry. So at some point, even if you're doing it, there's going to be some damage or,
So there is, so there is, there's higher likelihood of trauma to that area just given that area. And if you're receiving someone's penis in that area, there's a risk of trauma to that area. And that's the reality. There's also still risks to the vaginal area for trauma as well. And so it's really just being aware of these things. Again, having tears in the skin, which are just breaks that occur from trauma, and having an untreated infection already increases your risk to get more infections. So just keep that in mind. So
this goes back to the men and women. Does grooming have anything to do with down there, whether you catch or things like that, or that's just
grooming technically doesn't have anything to do with it. More so has stuff to do with your pleasure or your personal preference. Okay. Now let me say this: hygiene is important, but grooming is something different.
All right. So we're gonna go. I know we're just skipping all over the place. Right. Go back up to the mouth. A lot of people may feel like, well, after I do it, if I brush my teeth or use
still
Listerine.
Still get tested. Still get tested. That's all I can say. Still get tested. Definitely brush your teeth, do your mouthwash. Definitely do that. I'm not saying don't do that, but still get tested.
Okay. And then also going back to the men, how people say, well, if it don't look like he got anything, but even if down there, he ain't got no bumps or anything, it's like...
Yeah, so the biggest misconceptions, again, are that if we don't see it, it's not there. With sexually transmitted infections, that's just not the case. Mm-hmm. I see plenty of men, when I do an exam, they might just have a little glisten on the tip of their penis. And I'm, in my mind, as Dr. Sam, I'm like, okay, I'm going to test them, they're going to have something. And 9 times out of 10, they do. But that's not something they would have noticed. That's something that I, as a clinician, noticed. Likewise, if you think about syphilis, you might get this painless ulcer in the first stage of it. But if you miss that ulcer, that doesn't mean you don't have syphilis. It just means that you missed the symptom that said, you know what, I should go get tested for syphilis. So what does that mean? Get tested. Get tested frequently. Get tested with new partners. If you have the same partner and you're not sure if y'all are committed or not, get tested every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever it is that you need to do.
So what if a person goes, just say they go, well, no, let me start that for a minute. Say for people that may have birth control. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, well, no, since you got birth control, I'm in the clear a little bit.
Yeah. So there's 2 things with that. One, okay. Birth control doesn't protect you against sexually transmitted infections. And 2, if you don't know this lady, the question I'd be asking to myself as a male is she actually using her birth control as it was prescribed? Because she might have birth control, but maybe she forgets her pills 5 days out of 7. Or maybe she's always late for her shot. Those kind of things are the reasons why birth control failures happen. Meaning those are the reasons why some people get pregnant, mm-hmm. even though they're on birth control.
All right, so let's just talk about the testing for a moment. How should a guy or even couples kind of bring that subject up without the other person feeling kind of defensive? Like, just because we talk about, she must think I got something. Or vice versa.
Yeah, and so I said this with the ladies, and I'll say it with the guys too. It really comes down to, do you love yourself and do you care about yourself and your own health and well-being? If that's the case, then you can open your mouth and start the conversation. As far as, people feeling judged or feel like they're being accused when someone asks them that question, I think that's something that we in the U.S., and especially in the Black community, probably need to reprogram our minds about, because it's really killing us. Our rates are the highest for a lot of these infections, and that mindset of, if someone asks me when I was tested, means that they don't trust me, or that they think I'm dirty. that's killing us. And it's really, that person is being like, you know what, I love myself too much to let you have sex with me, and I don't really know what you got going on. So it's really just say it in a loving way. For those of us that get a little heated or get a little, a little hype, calm yourself down and just be like, hey, so, I'm cool with us doing this, but when was the last time you got tested? Something simple like that is an easy way to just start the conversation. That's in a non-accusatory way. We're real chill. Make the eye contact. If you can't make eye contact, you probably don't need to be having sex. Yeah, there are ways to do it. Just go with who you are, and make it, and do it in a safe space. Don't ask them in front of all their boys or girls.
And then also going back earlier, a lot of times, a lot of people may feel a sign is if they go and they urinate, they feel a burning sensation. But 9 times out of 10, that might not be it either.
Yeah, so, if you're urinating and you're feeling a burning sensation, maybe it's an STD. If you're a guy, maybe it's a UTI, but that's a little less likely, more likely for the ladies. But again, that's a sensation that you are recognizing as different. Go get tested.
So what if, we go get tested, where do we go?
So you can definitely go to your local health department. You can go, if you have a primary doctor, you can go there. A lot of emergency rooms actually automatically test people for HIV as soon as you step in, even if you have just a broken arm. And then there are usually local health fairs in the majority of at least the Birmingham area.
So if we go and say it's discovered that we are positive or have a STD or STI, what's the next step?
So the next step is making sure that you get back in contact with the people that informed you of that test result so that you can get treated and get counseling and things like that. A lot of STDs we have are curable, not all. I haven't even mentioned the ones that aren't curable other than HIV. But you can go and get treated, and then they can talk to you about ways to make sure that hopefully this doesn't happen again. For HIV, they'll bring you back in. Usually they've confirmed whether it's a real positive or not, and then they'll talk to you about ways in which you can go about starting medication.
So what's the cost involved if getting tested, getting treated, let's say, for financial reasons, they may not have the money.
Right. So local health fairs are usually going to be the ones that you see swabbing your mouth. That's usually just testing for HIV only. And that's usually going to be free. You can always go to the healthcare if you don't have money or for the teenagers that are afraid that costs are going to show up on their parents' insurance. You can go to the health department and get it for free or get it on a sliding scale, which is a fancy way of saying they look at what you make and they give you something that's appropriately affordable and shouldn't break your bank. The key is to make sure to know what you're getting tested for, right? So make sure that you ask them, what are you testing me for? Is it HIV only? Is it gonorrhea only? Syphilis, trichomonas, hepatitis B, hepatitis C? I mean, the list goes on.
All right, I want to go back. I know, I feel like I'm all over the place. But oral sex, men giving it, the dangers of we going down there, because
you can still get something, right? Your mouth is still your mouth that has mucosal cells is still on that person's mouth, that person's private area, vagina, penis, that has mucosal cells. So yeah, you can definitely still get something or give.
And fellas, like we were saying in the last video, smell is not the indicator where something is wrong.
Smell is not. Whether they smell or not does not mean that they are free of STDs. Yes. The only way to know that is to see their test results.
And how good are their test results?
Exactly. And so, if they're showing you their test results, and so today is February 16th.
Yes.
If they're showing you their test results from February 15th and they told you they had sex on February 13th, you probably want them to get some more test results because it means they had sex 2 days ago. And so those test results may or may not reflect the fact that they had sex 2 days ago. So just pay attention to dates.
And let's repeat this again. While this is going on and you're being treated, you cannot have sexual...
Right. So if you end up with a positive test result for any kind of STD, make sure that you talk to your physician because they're going to tell you, hey, wait 7-10 days, wait this amount of time before you have sex again. And also make sure that your partner goes and gets tested too and gets treated if they need to be. Because just because you got something doesn't mean that your partner has it.
All right. Any final thoughts, if they'd like to get in contact with you, how can they reach you? Sure.
So you could always call me at 205-638-5200. My email is samantha Samantha.hill.med@gmail.com. So that reads Samantha.hill.med@gmail.com.
All right. Dr. Hill, thank you for taking time out your day to, talk about this. This is a very important topic, y'all. I know a lot of y'all follow the love and relationship. Let me also do this disclaimer. I am not no therapist. I'm not portrayed. I want, my purpose for What's Happening Birmingham is to inform the community about things that's going on, and whether it's a party, event, or local business, or just helping, I'm going to inform you all. Even if in the process of me kind of not saying embarrassing myself, but
it's okay.
Putting myself out there.
It's okay, because we established most people don't know how to do it.
Just people know how to do that. So, Dr. Hill, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for more information, please check out what'shappenedbirmingham.com. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I also have videos as well. Thank you all again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.